Hey guys, so it occurred to me that if I'm doing this optimization stuff in LP, I should probably give a little sort of primer on a lot of mechanics the game will use. I don't know if the levels I'll be working on have invalid tiles, but I have this set I prepared a while ago and was going to do this video and just never did. So we're going to start out with just a basic intro. So 97, best score is 99. Sometimes you just have to keep trying. You can also tell also important to note is that you can usually tell where you are in a cycle based on where monsters are. So, step parity. So this level is specifically tuned to be beaten by just holding right. So that's a pretty basic thing, a pretty basic concept. So so there's even step and there's odd step, as you can see down here. We're going to be an odd step. The reason the teeth moves is teeth and blobs only move on every other move, which means with teeth letting you out at a specific timing.
Bummer.
See, the blob kills me that time because it's on its moving turn.
Bummer.
And I timed it too soon. So if you know the timing, you can just run right on by. The other thing to note is a side swipe. So that's a side swipe. Wait for the teeth to be at a certain position to you, and you can always run right by it. So this is one of those things. You can also, as noted, snatch from teeth and blobs with that. It's a little easier to tell with teeth because you can use their animation if you've got room to walk. Um, you'll note if this
Bummer.
starts an odd step, they'll move faster, but if you wait one move, then it works. Sometimes you'll have to do that wait, sometimes you can adjust the step depending on the level. So, boosting. I'm going to go this way. Hey, so we're going to start by just running to the right. We get 98. That's obviously pretty slow. Let's take the force floors. Hey, a 99. But here's the thing. This is more boosting. We want boosting. So we run, we get 98. Take the force floors, get 99. Sorry, take the force floors, get 99. We take these upper force floors, though, and we'll play back to get the better decimal. That's faster. Why is this upper path faster? Well, the reason the upper path is faster is because overrides. So you'll notice that Chip gets to just zip. This is because slide, override, versus slide, 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 slide. So the sliding all happens at 10 moves per second. Walking is 5. What that means is that Chip is able to move at 20 tiles per second on this zip, while on this lower one, it's only 10. So you end up losing a little time. So what about this one? Well, that one gets a 99. That also gets a 99. Is that a better 99? It is. So why is this upper one faster? This upper one is faster due to spring slides. Or that's what Andrew Bennett called them forever ago, so that's what they're called. So the way those work is you slide an odd number of tiles compared to an even number of tiles. What that means, there are special circumstances with half weights that can make evens give you the spring slide, but those are pretty rare. What that functionally means here is that you slide, you've now made an involuntary move in your move. So now you're on the back half of a move, and you haven't moved yet. Therefore, well, let's move you. Therefore, you can move. So you move again. And now, first half of the next move, you can move. You slide. Oh, hey, let's move again. So you end up zipping along this at, I believe that's 15 tiles per second. I think it's a little slower than the other method. So spring slides, as I just explained. So let's just delete the solution. Do a very simple method. So 98. Let's go 98. So you'll notice that the second one there was a lot more complicated. But because all of the moves were done with spring slides, it came out equivalent. Moving on to an ice dodge, we can just walk around this ball. We end up 2 behind. Not bad. But if we use spring slides with the ice, we gain one move relative to the ball. So basically, ice and stuff are fast. So we can go over here and get a 99, or we can use the boost to slip past a ball that we otherwise wouldn't be able to slip past. So
Bummer.
spring steps are basically just a half weight.
Bummer.
So you'll
Bummer.
always die if
Bummer.
you just try and
Bummer.
run through this.
Bummer.
It's no variation.
Bummer.
But if you wait half a move and then you move again, essentially what that means is if you divide every move into two halves, a first half and a second half, you can move on either half of that. So you go move, wait, move, wait, move, wait, move, wait under normal circumstances.
Bummer.
Oops. But what I do at the start there is move, wait, wait, move, move, wait. So this puts the two moves close together. So you're essentially moving twice as fast, but you're rearranging your moves. So you don't gain any time, but it can allow you some flexibility in situations such as that. Basic slide delay. So, obviously, there's no way we can get to this exit. Except we can. So let's try
Bummer.
that. Let's use the
Bummer.
power of a half weight. It doesn't work. So let's put 2 blocks up. Maybe that'll work.
Bummer.
And
Bummer.
half weight, we die. Let's put all 3. Half weight. Easy. Let's only put 1.
Bummer.
Okay. So the reason that works is the slip list, which is just an internal array of all sliding objects, doesn't update all at once. It updates the first item in the list, puts it at the back, updates the second item in the list. So when we have 3 items on the slip list like this, and we add a 4th, then what it looks like is object 1, object 2, object 3, object 4. 3 of them are stuck, so object 1 goes to the bottom. It's now 2, 3, 4, 1. And we take the second one. So 2, 4, 1, 3. 2, 4, 3, 1, 2, 4, 3, 1. So functionally, object 1 moves 3 times and object 3 moves once. The other 2 do not move, which is why this hangs. This all happens over the course of a half a move. However, the second object doesn't move either, and 4th becomes second when there's 3 like this. So with this block being the 4th object, it becomes the second object and hangs on the force floor for 2 half moves and allows you to slip through. So, what else can we do with a half weight? That. We can do that with a half weight. So what even is that? Well, this is how Flamboyant CCLP2 is busted. It's useful in a couple other rare circumstances. That's just an easy way to time it. Basically, you do a half weight, which I can emulate by boosting off this ice. The block then hangs on the force floor, or rather, you can spring step onto it, so you're on the second half, so you get a second move. The block hasn't slid yet, again, so your move gets processed. Oof, you can override because you've now oofed on the block. This is sometimes useful, sometimes not. So cross-checking. What's cross-checking? Well, you can't get through this water, but you can with a boost. So this is the same principle of block goes, you go with a immediate move that you normally wouldn't be able to get, and you push the block through the ice corner. This can happen with force floors as well. I believe it can happen with teleports. And ultimately, it's just... sometimes it's a pain. A lot of people have had that happen to them on Iceberg. So more cross-checking. This is just demonstrating that, yes, it can be done with force floors. In fact, this level is as simple as hold up. So, block echo. So if you can't push it through something, then you oof off the block and go back. But with a half weight on every landing, like I just did, I'm sure they are mostly invisible. The difference was I was pressing instead of holding. You don't oof, and in this case it comes out equivalent, but in some levels you will need to wait a specific amount of time before following a block. Alright, overriding speed. Just hit right. That's easy, right? Wrong, because that's a bunch of sliding versus a bunch of overriding. As we remember from earlier, overriding is faster. So as you can see here, when we're sliding off an odd number, like these early ones, it's faster than when we step off. Because this is, let's just go back to here. So slide once, override. Oh, we're on the second half of the move, move again. Here, slide 2, override, we're on the first half of the move, and so we essentially drop one move relative to the other. So what was this thing down here? So how did I get that 97 when I did basically the same thing? Well, 1, 2, 3. Override, boost down. So you go spring slide like that, with these two being treated as floor. This means we're sliding 7 versus 9, and that's obviously going to be faster. It can be a little tricky to get those, but they are used in a few levels throughout official sets. There's at least 2 in CCLP1, including Carousel, which doesn't have this exact setup, but it's not too bad. So, we now have a block king on a force floor. Let's do our half-weight solution.
Bummer.
That's not working. So, what can we possibly do to get through this? Well, this is something used in After the Rainstorm, a ram. So you'll notice I'm oofing a lot here. And now the block just hangs. So we need to get this block up to that water. But if we run like this, it's not going to work. This is a trick used in Annoying Wall in CCLP3. Oops, I mistimed the last one. There you go. Okay, so now this doesn't look too bad. So how are we going to beat this level? This doesn't seem to be doable. Well, this is another kind of ram. That kind. So basically this is the same deal as with cross-checking earlier. You get the block stuck, and we can put this other block in place, and just finish the level. It's really not too bad. However, this first ram, the one where it's essentially a cross-checked ram, is one you really do need to be careful of, because it can cook levels when you wouldn't want them to. So, flicks. There's an invisible wall there. So we can flick the block off of this panel. And we can flick it off of toggle walls. And we can flick off of a socket. We can flick off of locks, even. Give me a moment. I almost cooked the level there. So, at this point I was trying to demonstrate in a more level format a bunch of things, rather than one specific product. So you can flick a block off of a single clone machine, and that happens. So what even was down here? Well, this is just a simple block on a clone machine. It shows up in... I don't think it shows up in any official levels, but it's definitely in some custom levels, because it doesn't require wiring. You just flick the block off the clone machine, basically. It's kind of weird, but just accept that that's how it works. So, mouse assists. So this bomb's in the way.
Bummer. Bummer.
There's no way we can get through this. But we click the other hint. So what happened there, even? Well, that's actually pretty simple. The mouse move has a primary and secondary component. The primary is the bigger direction, so when we click the other hint, that is right 2 and up 1. So it tries to go right. It inputs that right move. But because it's blocked by the thin wall here, it pushes the block off, blowing up the bomb, and then moves chip up. Obviously, that's pretty cool.
Bummer.
Alright.
Bummer.
Oops.
Bummer. Bummer.
Yeah, it can be a little tricky. I don't know why I set this up the way I set this up. So let's just use the playback. So what does that even accomplish? That's a good question. That's actually a good question. So what that does is that rams this block onto this force floor, with this setup basically forcing you into a specific approach. I don't know why it's set up that way. So while I'm here, this is an easy way of timing these. So this will allow me to remove the
Bummer.
block, like so. Wait, does that even need the mouse click? Or is this just a bad example?
Bummer.
Okay, no, that still does need the mouse click. So, if we do this, then we'll move and we'll be one away. But if we're an even number of tiles away, 2, then we can just do that. So now let's click the other hint, and because the block is rammed, we don't die. Not bad. So this is the quote button smash glitch. When you push a block on, when you flick a block onto a toggle button or a tank button or any button, it doesn't actually change. So this is a really weird case that I found, where this lower one works because the ball's not already trapped, so it registers later or something. It's weird. So jamming buttons. As you can see, 2 buttons at the same time cancel each other out.
Bummer.
So this one does create a little bit of a puzzle that I don't entirely remember. So we need to have the toggles be changing, but we also need
Bummer.
to be able to get through. And that was very silly of me at the end there. Basically, let's hit the playback, jam the first button, jam that button, jam that one, come through here, and just walk on through. So that's just an illustration. So partial post. This is something shown in, well, every set. Push the block through the teleport, and it gets rerouted to a new location. Pretty simple. Better introduction than the original partial post, and this is used everywhere. It doesn't have to be with 2 blocks, as this showed. It can be a block and anything that acts like a wall. Literally anything, even a monster. So this is what happens if you don't push that block out of the way. So, teleport skip glitch. This is not yet implemented in Tile World. It might be. Press right, then click the exit, and it works. So, basically, in Tile World, you get the red key. In MSCC, you would skip through this teleport and pop out here. If there were more teleports in the network, you'd pop out the next one. So if there's one on this tile, you'd come out there. You essentially just skip the next teleport because it's occupied by a monster. So the concussion rule. This looks impossible.
Bummer.
Oops. But the ball just stops moving. However, if the state changes, as this illustrates, the ball will be released. This is less important. Cloning into traps, on the other hand.
Bummer.
So we can blow ourselves up, or we can do that. But we can only get 1 ball. So this was discovered in entrance examination, the first level of CCLP3. Cloning a fireball into a trap, or any monster, and then releasing the trap will actually get the second one to still clone. It's kind of weird. So tanks and traps. As you can see, they'll turn around in the trap. This is pretty rare. So this one is just showing that tanks get reversed, or tank clone machines can reverse under rare circumstances. This comes up in Monster Lab, as I'm sure a lot of people have seen, but it can also be forced to happen in other levels. So the glider is first in the monster order. This is literally just the order in which monsters move. So let's open them both simultaneously. So with both of them going simultaneously, the glider deflects the fireball. If we go glider first, the fireball deflects the glider. If we go fireball first, again, it deflects the glider at a different point. So basically, think of it as they both get released. Glider moves, fireball moves. Glider moves, fireball moves. Oh, this is blocked. Boom. Glider keeps moving. So that's why that works
Bummer.
only when you push the tank button. Because the other ones result in fireball moves, glider moves, fireball moves, glider moves, up, boom. And that's why that level works. So the controller and boss glitch is one of those things that is conceptually kind of tricky. So we have this glider here. We've got the glider facing up. We release the bug releases up. And the bug will always release up until we change the direction the glider's facing. So this has to do with the actual monster order. Where's the bug? Depending on the monster order, I believe with the controller, it's the glider is the one before the bug. There's a bug that hilarious. Just results in the previous monster's direction being checked for a trap release. So over here, we're going to be demonstrating the other version. As you can see, this is the boss glitch. The last monster in the monster order, so in this case, the one that was just cloned, because they're always added at the end, will clone the linked monster, in this case, it has to be a Paramecia, bug, or teeth, in the direction that it's facing. So when we come over here and clone this pink ball, it releases the Paramecia. So now that's all the stuff that's liable to come up in-game. There are a couple things that show up in custom levels. So this is the non-existence glitch. Chip just doesn't exist until he starts moving. If you don't move, he appears after 3 moves. It's a little weird.
Bummer.
You're also invincible during this state, because you don't exist. And, you also erase whatever was on your tile. So can we erase this?
Bummer.
So we
Bummer.
can temporarily
Bummer.
erase the
Bummer.
sprite of the ball, but the ball still exists in the monster list, so it lives. So invalid tiles. We have a bunch of things on clone machines, as well as what's below them. Wow, that was dumb. So all this really means is, yes, things work a little strangely sometimes. Walk over the block, it makes the block appear. Walk over the bomb, it makes the bomb appear. And again, you can do the same thing with exits. That is an exit on a clone machine. So, monsters.
Bummer.
So we need 5 chips. Where are these 5 chips? They're right here. So, as the hint says, anything that gets pushed to the non-existent third layer gets erased. So what does that mean? Well, let's take these 3 chips and then release this. There's no chips here. So what goes on? Well, right now, these 5 tiles are floor on top of chip. So when you step on it, it becomes chip on top of chip. So it unburies the chip itself. However, if the pink ball goes across, it becomes ball, floor, chip, which is just truncated to ball, floor. Which is why you've got to be careful with custom levels and even CCLP2 sometimes. So invalid tiles,
Bummer.
blocks. Any invalid tiles under a block take effect immediately. So as you can hear, I'm picking up chips because there's chips under those. And even there, take one step, just keep sliding. I think that's pretty cool. That's not used in any levels. So invalid tiles, destructible obstacles. You can bury blocks underwater. You can bury chips under bombs. You gotta be careful with that. You can even hide keys under fake walls. So you can do a lot of stuff with invalid tiles. A lot of cool stuff. So there's also multiple chips in some levels. Let's run for the finish.
Bummer.
Aw, chips died. So the thing is, you have to keep any other chips alive, which means if you
Bummer.
try and do this, we're in the exit, but we're dead. The reason we're controlling the one on the bottom right is it's just the last one. That's the one you end up controlling. So I don't understand this glitch.
Bummer.
But yeah, it involves pushing a block onto a clone machine and teleports and just other nonsense. I do not fully understand it. I will not pretend to fully understand it. I'm pretty sure I'm screwed.
Bummer.
Yep. So I don't even remember what I'm supposed to do with this.
Bummer.
I know this level is solvable. Let's just watch the solution. Oh, you're kidding me.
Bummer.
Okay, so that ice tile's there to allow boosting and a headbanger off of the essentially block with chips sprite.
Bummer.
Wait, what?
Bummer.
Whoa!
Bummer.
Why does that have the block?
Bummer. Bummer. Bummer.
Why does a chip get carried?
Bummer.
Does the last direction you slid have an impact? Anyway, that's new to me. So the block has chip partial post into the exit, and now that exit's completely unusable. Fortunately, there's this convenient other exit. And then this is just a dummy level. If you finished a level in MSCC that was not 144 or 149, it would try to go to the next level. It would fail to go to the next level and crash. So this is just a dummy level. All of the exits are 6 tiles away. So this is a much longer than anticipated primer on a lot of mechanics. I'm sure there's nuances and stuff I didn't cover here. If you have any questions, anything you'd like clarified, I can do that. I have a lot of knowledge about this game. So yeah, as mentioned in the Dying Dream upload earlier, any custom levels you'd like to see me work on, I'm game for that. Just please nothing ludicrously complicated. That would take days to come up with something for. But alright, later.